I think of the perimeter.
Okay, let's
It's
go
gonna be-
ahead.
Well, the broad, it's still counting us, right, or no?
Well, this is not included. It's like if you put a fence around an existing wall, you're not using fencing on that wall.
That was a
You know?
stupid
Oh,
day.
yeah.
But if the barn was there,
When literally this was what we did.
All right, we got one more problem to do. Let's get this problem done. Then we gotta finish up these notes. Yeah, oh my God.
wait, I think I have it.
Give me the equation. This is some physics equation. You might recognize it. It has something to do with circuits or something, electricity. Solve the equation for this. Now, what does that mean? If we're gonna solve an equation for a variable, what does that mean?
You're isolating it.
Get that variable by itself, right? So, thoughts on how we might do that? Clear the fractions? All right, I can clear the fractions. I don't know what that's gonna look like, but we will bravely forge ahead here. So I'm gonna have r sub 1, r sub 2 equals r sub t, r sub 2 plus r sub t, r sub 1. Does that look okay? Oh yeah, this is gonna be easy. We can do this. Now we're trying to solve for r sub 2. So maybe what we need to do is get them together. So subtract this guy over to the other side. Now, since they are together, we can factor out. And then we can divide. So I thought that was gonna be a bigger deal than it was. That wasn't too bad, was it? So we cleared all the fractions.
On the numerator, would it be multiplication?
It would be. Thank you, right there, multiplication. Thank you. So we multiply through to clear all the denominators. Then we put our desired variable on the same side, so all the R2s on the same side, factor them out, and then divide it. Good. All right, that's done. So I guess we'll take our quiz on Thursday. That'll probably be the only thing we'll get done because we have like a 25-minute period or some ungodly short thing. But that's what we'll do. We need to finish our notes now though, because we have got to get through chapter 2, so we can move on to chapter 3 and then chapter 4 before the end of the semester. Chapter 2? Yeah. When we finish it. Yeah. We still haven't finished this section, have one more section to go, so maybe begin the next week. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be gone.
Super.
I was gonna be gone this weekend.
Oh, of course you are. No big deal, it's only school. Stuart Cannery, I'm back in my notes now, I'm ready for number 4. Ready for number 4. Stuart Cannery will package tomato juice in 2-liter cylindrical cans. So here is my cylindrical can and its volume is 2 liters, so tell me that. Find the radius and height of the cans if the cans have a surface area of 1,000 square centimeters. Find the radius and height. Now, all right, thoughts on this? Anybody have a thought on this? George?
We can do 2 pi r squared plus the x. This, you can draw a net and then add the circles together and then do the rectangle and have it all equal 1,000.
Okay, so what George is saying, you're talking about surface area, right?
Yes.
So what George is saying is, the surface area of the cylinder, I'll just make one. Here's my cylinder right here. The surface area of the cylinder consists of a circle on top and a circle on the bottom. So that's how he got the 2 pi r squared, right? And then the sides of the cylinder are really just a rectangle. And the height of the rectangle is just h, whatever the height of the cylinder is. But what about the width of the rectangle? Well, look, when I fold it around, isn't the width of the rectangle the circumference of the circle? So the circumference is 2 pi r times h. So this is 2 pi r, it's the circumference, and this is h. So George is saying, here is an equation that equals 1,000. Now, that is an absolutely magnificent equation, but there's something wrong with it. It has too many variables to solve, right? So now I'm gonna look in my problem. Is there anywhere else I can get some additional information? Either another equation, because if I have 2 equations and 2 unknowns, I can use substitution or elimination. Or is there just extra information somewhere?
Wouldn't you make a equation for the volume?
I can. What is the volume of a cylinder?
Alright, hold on, give me 1 second.
Pi r squared h? Yeah. And I know that pi r squared h equals 2 liters. All right.
Shouldn't we change the unit of liters?
Well, I am a little bit concerned about that. A liter, oh geez.
Could you put it into centimeters cubed?
Yeah, what is it in centimeters
I'm not
cubed?
sure.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. We should know this. This is something we should know. I do not know. Is a milliliter a cubic centimeter? I think that's right. A milliliter is a cubic centimeter? Huh?
That sounds like
I love it. Lewis says, oh, it sounds like it should be. I think that's right, but go ahead and look it up.
1 cubic cent, oh wait. That's not helpful. Well, it says 1 cubic centimeters, 0.001 liters, so then that would mean.
Okay, so it is a milliliter. Yeah, okay. So this would be 2,000 cubic centimeters. Everybody with me there? Okay. All right. So what am I going to do now? I've got 2 equations. These are very nice equations.
You could divide the volume one by 2 to make them both equal
Okay.
1,000.
So pi r squared h, no, just pi r squared, plus pi r h equals, well, it's gonna be 500, which is fine, that's fine. And then I still have pi r squared h equals 2,000.
I meant to divide the bottom one by 2 to make them both equal 1,000.
Well, that's okay, but I really don't wanna set those 2 things equal to each other, because then I'm still gonna have one equation, but it's gonna have 2 variables in it. So I need to solve for either r or h, one or the other. And it looks like,
Can't you just divide by pi r squared and h equals 2,000?
okay, so you're solving for h. So Peter says h equals 2,000 divided by pi r squared. True? And then we can take that guy and put him right here. So then we'll have an equation, but how many variables will it have in it? Just one. That's how we like it, just one. So what's that equation gonna look like? r squared plus pi r times 2,000 over pi r squared equals 500. Did I make that transition right? Okay, so pi r squared plus, 2,000?
Or did that's not our square?
Oh, okay, so we, so it's 2,000 over r. Yeah. Is that right?
We just multiply everything but r dependent.
I absolutely could, so pi r cubed plus 2,000 equals 500 r, or pi r cubed minus 500 r plus 2,000 equals 0, if I wanted to get it equal to 0. Are we gonna use the quadratic formula?
No.
Because it's a cube? Let's graph it and see if we can come up with an r. Keep in mind, I don't know what this thing looks like, but whatever r is, it has to be positive, right? So keep that in mind as you look at the picture of it. Pi r cubed minus 500 r equals 2,000. Did you get a couple of places where it crossed? I'm gonna see what they are. Has anybody found one yet? I'm still
I
messing
found one.
around. You found one?
Yeah.
Probably the one I'm looking for here. Which one did you get? Is it 4 point something?
I got 9.65.
Okay, so that's the second one.
My window is 0 to 20, and then negative 1,000 to 1,000.
Okay, so I got one of, 9.65, is that the one you said?
Yeah.
And
I got one is 4.62.
that's the one I.
Yeah.
This one, 4.62. And there's probably another one, but I haven't, there has to be one. Is on the negative side, okay, I didn't graph that side, so we gotta ignore that one anyway because it's negative. So these are actually R values. So the question says, find the radius and height. So, okay, so we have two possible radii. So understand, well, let's find the height. Find the height that goes with a radius of 4.62. So find the height, 2,000 divided by pi times 4.62 squared. For that height, I got 29.83. These will all be centimeters. And then what about the other height? 2,000 divided by pi times 1.65 squared. I got 6.84 for that one. So tell me about these two possible cans. This one is really short and fat, so it's a big circle, but it's not very tall. This one is a smaller circle, but a taller one. They both hold the exact same amount, and they both use the same amount of aluminum to create. They have the same surface area. So how would you decide if you were this person trying to figure this out? How would you make a decision?
Either one.
Either one would be fine, but which
Aesthetically?
one stacks better, which one looks better to the customer, which one might be easier to handle. This one is so fat, when you think about a 9 rating, that's 18 across, that one might be hard to hold in your hand, so maybe you go with this one, who knows. Anyway, those are the possible answers. All right, we okay with that? So, very complicated looking problems. So think about the steps we went through. We built, at your suggestion, we built an equation for volume and we built an equation for surface area. And then we used substitution to actually solve that system. When you have a situation where you have two variables, kids, you must find another equation in there. You've got to get more information. You cannot solve it if you've got one equation. All right, Midtown Sports Apparel needs to sell golf hats for $2.75 each. This sounds like the Shindard problem. It costs $2.12 to produce the hats. Weekly overhead is $3,000. Sold algebraically to find the number of golf hats that must be sold each week to make a profit. All right, let's set up our equation. What did we say profit was?
The income minus
Okay, what's our income? We're selling them for $2.75 each, so there's our income. What's our expense?
2.12x.
212x plus the additional 3,000. And do we know what the profit is this time?
Just says we need to-
So
That's just, yeah.
if we don't know what the profit is, what if we set this equal to 0? We're gonna solve that equation. That's gonna be easy to solve, right?
Then you could add one more.
That will be the break-even point. Wouldn't that be exactly where my income matches my expenses? So won't anything I sell after that produce a profit?
Yeah.
So if I solve this, which is gonna be easy, what is that, 0.63 x minus 3,000? So 3,000 divided by 0.63. This is gonna be my break even if I subtracted right. Keep an eye on my arithmetic. I got 4761.90. So how many hats do I need to sell to turn a profit?
4,762.
Yeah, I gotta sell 4,762 or more, right? Anything from there on is gonna produce a profit for me. That seems kind of easy. Then this, I don't know what writing to learn is. How many golf hats must be sold to make a profit of $1,000?
You just set the equation equal to 1,000.
So come back up here, this was our profit, right? Set it equal to 1,000 and solve that. Would that work? We can do that, that's easy. All right, let's look at our bear population. The number of bears at any given time is given by this equation. So somebody has figured out that this is how many bears there are at time t. Find the population of bears when t is 10. Well, that's easy. All you're gonna do is what? Put in 10. So I don't know, we got calculators, we can figure out what that is. Did you get 200? Alright, and then the rest of those in that section are the same, so 40, 100, and so on. Does the graph of the bear population have a horizontal asymptote? If so, what is it? If not, why not? So let's look at our function. That is no different than the equations that we were looking at earlier. There it is, looking more like an equation like we looked at. Does that have a horizontal asymptote?
Yeah.
It absolutely does. Those powers are the same. So your horizontal asymptote is going to be 250 divided by 0.5, so 500. So your horizontal asymptote is at y equals 500. Now think about the problem, you guys. You're talking about the bear population, and you just put a horizontal asymptote in the problem at 500. What does that mean? It means that population isn't going to, I mean, it's heading toward 500, but it's not going to reach 500. It's going to max out at 500. According to the model, what is the largest a bear population can become? 500. Explain your answer. Well, we got an asymptote there, so that's why, mathematically. Why out in like the real world where bears live, why would there be a maximum population? What's that about? Not enough resources, there's no food or area for it to build homes or whatever. It's like, you guys know that periodically they open up Fort Bend State Park for deer hunting. Why do they do that? To keep the population down, otherwise they starve to death, right? And disease and all that things, so, yep. Beautiful. Okay, we did it. So 2-7 will be due on Friday.
No, I do.
All right, so let's just make sure we're clear on things here now, since I don't see it. First of all, good luck tomorrow, juniors taking your PSAT, and sophomore taking your PSAT. Thursday is a half day, so we're going to take our quiz over 26, 27. We reviewed for that today. We're going to do some graphing. Quiz will be calculator, no calculator. Thursday also, you have some homework due on Thursday. And now you also have homework due on Friday. Okay? So everybody's clear on everything that's happening.